It's great to hear someone in government talking so passionate about crypto in the UK. One of the things that's really interesting, you mentioned about competition. I can see a few faces in the audience from the UK that have left to go to Portugal and Dubai. So Matt, if you're listening, there's some people here that I think you should start with. Next up, we have something that I'm super excited about. We have Matt Hawkins from Cudos. He's going to be talking about Metaverse and scaling Web3 applications. He founded C4L, which is one of the fastest growing ISPs in 2000, scaled in order to handle over 1% of UK's internet traffic. He now runs Cudos for working on decentralized cloud computing, and I couldn't be happier to welcome Matt to the stage. Round of applause, come on! Woo!
Thanks. So we've heard a lot today about NFTs, we've heard about DAOs. What you've got to consider is some of the risks. You've heard regulatory risks as well. But if we're building metaverses, we're building Web3 applications, we're building blockchains, there's a lot of risks that people aren't necessarily aware of. And those are the ones that we really need to start considering. So if we look at metaverses first, metaverses, as you know, are virtual worlds, virtual environments. And they are now replicating, some of them are replicating the real world versus the virtual world. So you've got houses, cars, countries, all being replicated in it. Huge amounts of information, huge amounts of data. We've then got digital twins. And this is where you're kind of creating a real world copy of something in the virtual world, but high quality, high density graphics, millions of polygons. And that's a huge amount of data that you've now got to share and stream. And then also we have the real-world simulations where you need to consider things like airflow, gravity, fluid dynamics, which is water simulations. So you've now got huge amounts of computation. And if you look, Meta said that when we're building metaverses, they need to be within 20 milliseconds of where your servers are on the actual network. And that's actually not very far at all. So to give you an idea, if you've been here this morning, you've already had 5 coffees, you're probably feeling like this right now, buzzing, wide awake, and you're blinking really quickly. That's about 100 milliseconds you blink at. So 5 times fast, or 5 times slower than actually how quickly you need to have your servers. If you just had your Zebu lunch, which looks like a few people have gone to go do already, you're probably feeling like this afterwards. And then it's 20 times slower. So it's really quick latency that we need to be between where we're building our servers on these networks. Now, NVIDIA said that over the next 6 years, 50% of internet traffic is going to be running in 3D environments, which is a huge change from where we are today. And to make that equal on everyone's machines, it means that we need graphics cards all around the world rendering this, so everybody's getting the same immersive experience. And we can't do that today. We don't have that much computation. So we've got huge changes that need to be happening over the next couple of years. And then also from Intel, they've said that we need 1,000 times more computing capacity than we have today to be able to do these immersive metaverses. So we've got huge challenges ahead. But that's just metaverses. If you're building environments in these metaverses, you need to take these into account and take these into considerations, that your edge nodes need to be within 20 milliseconds. Your nodes themselves shouldn't be with single providers. They should be with multiple providers all around the world that give you diversity, but also, which I'll cover in a minute, why they shouldn't be primarily in US locations as well, or US service providers, because it's now becoming a real big regulatory risk. So blockchains themselves, they should be distributed, they should be diverse, and they should be decentralized. But that's actually not often the case. And people don't realize this when they look at the infrastructure underneath. So Messari did a report recently, over 50% of Ethereum is running purely in Amazon AWS. That's a huge risk that all of this infrastructure is running purely in those environments. If you then look at other blockchains, and it's not just Ethereum, Solana, for example, which is a good low-cost, fast transaction network, 72% of that is running in exactly the same locations and service providers that Ethereum is. So we've got this problem across the industry. And then also the SEC actually have a case with a YouTuber called Ian Bellina at the moment, and they are trying to claim that Ethereum is run in the US, so they can put it under their laws. So 43% of nodes are running in Ethereum, actually in America, and they're trying to use that as the case, which is a real risk for anyone that's building their applications, their metaverses, they're blockchains that are running primarily in the US. And because we're kind of in this flux in the middle where it's not yet been decided which way we're going, it's a real risk for us as an industry. So as an industry in general, we need to be building outside of America, building with lots of different service providers and distributing our infrastructure to protect ourselves as an industry. And when you build on these platforms, blockchains, when you choose a blockchain, you kind of need to choose decentralization, security, and scalability. You kind of can't have all of these at once, so you need to choose your platforms and your blockchains based on typically 2 of these, and one of these is going to be sacrificed a bit. But the advantage now is that because of bridges and smart contract connectivities between different chains, you can choose the best of both. You can choose a low-cost, fast transaction blockchain to build on top of, and then if you need to scale computation, or if you need to access other communities, you can then build a multi-cloud or a multi-chain solution, which actually communicates between all of them. So you get access to wider communities, you get access to the best elements of what you're building in applications today, and that's how kind of internet building applications has gone for many years in the past. But you're seeing that the risks really are about running on, if you run on a centralized blockchain, especially one that is based in the US or as a US team, that's a real risk at the moment. And if you're running on blockchains that are primarily run across the US, that's still a really big risk. So we need to be working with these chains and convincing them to be running on different providers around the world. A little bit about Cudos. So we are an infrastructure blockchain. We actually connect up hundreds and thousands of service providers all around the world that can provide their computing capacity, can provide their renewable energy mining farm capacity into the network so that anyone has got access to infrastructure. Doesn't matter what country, what location, which providers, you can distribute out evenly, so it's safe for your security, it's safe from a regulatory perspective, and you can run pretty much anywhere in the world. The blockchain is live. We've had about 750,000 users sign up to our monetization software and using our platforms. But the actual compute element of our platform goes live next month. And then we've got about $100 million worth of infrastructure around the world initially next quarter being committed to our platform so that people building these applications and metaverses and blockchains can use all of that to scale their own infrastructure. We're also launching next quarter the fact that you can rent capacity on these platforms and these networks. We're actually merging infrastructure and DeFi so that you can own capacity on these networks. So we're enabling wrapping of this infrastructure, and you can own it as an NFT. That's how we're technically doing it, which means you can essentially buy that capacity and then you earn a yield off that capacity. So it means that we can do real asset-bearing yield NFTs. They can give you returns over 3-5 years, but then you can trade those as the market goes up, as the market goes down, as revenues increase, you can trade those in the market. So it brings liquidity into the infrastructure market. But also we're opening it up so that developers and builders of metaverses and NFTs can integrate it into their platforms and actually create their own yield-bearing services for their customers that have got real utility behind them. So if you use the QR code here, it will take you to a landing page, and we're doing kind of a promotion for the first 1,000 developers that integrate infrastructure into their dApps and applications, where we'll be giving Cudos, which is the token of our blockchain, to those. So we'd like to work with suppliers of infrastructure, builders of infrastructure on the network. So that is it. So yeah, thank you, and I hope you have a good rest of the show. Cheers.